Welcome, productivity enthusiasts and lifelong learners. Today we delve into the wisdom of Atomic Habits by James Clear. This remarkable book is not just a global bestseller, but also a transformative guide that has revolutionized the way we approach personal development and productivity. Atomic Habits offers a fresh perspective, breaking down the complexities of habit formation into understandable, actionable steps. It shines a light on the power of small, consistent actions and their cumulative impact on our lives. The book's approach is built on the premise that tiny changes can yield remarkable results, a concept that has resonated with millions of readers worldwide. As we navigate through the intricacies of this book, we'll uncover the science behind habits, their formation, and their profound impact on our daily lives. So buckle up as we explore the power of habits and the science behind it. Habits are the invisible architecture of our lives. They shape our existence, our future, and define us. Consider this. Every single day, we perform countless tasks almost mechanically, without even thinking about them. From brushing our teeth in the morning to checking our phones before bed, these are habits ingrained in us through repeated action. And while they might seem insignificant, they play an enormous role in shaping our lives. Now, you might be wondering, how do habits even form? Well, it's all about the brain. When we perform an action over and over again, our brain starts to automate the process, creating a neural pathway that becomes stronger with each repetition. This is known as neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and adapt as a result of experience. It's like carving a path through a dense forest. The more you tread the same path, the clearer and easier it becomes to navigate. But here's the fascinating part. Our habits don't just dictate our actions, they also shape our identities. Ever heard the phrase, "We are what we repeatedly do"? Well, it's not far from the truth. If you consistently practice the piano, you're not just developing a habit, you're becoming a pianist. If you read books regularly, you're not just forming a reading habit, you're becoming a reader. It's a subtle shift in perspective, but one that can have profound implications for our self-perception and motivation. Habits also have a cumulative effect. Each small action might not seem like much on its own, but over time, these actions add up, leading us towards long-term success or failure. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts off small but grows larger with every roll. That's the power of habits. They might start small, but their impact can be monumental. So if habits are so powerful, why don't we harness them more effectively? The answer lies in our understanding. We often underestimate the power of habits because their effects are not immediately visible. But once we understand how they work, we can leverage them to our advantage, building routines that propel us towards our goals and ambitions. Indeed, understanding the mechanics of habit formation is the first step towards mastering productivity. Clear introduces us to the 4 laws of behavior change: cue, craving, response, and reward. Let's begin with the first law, the cue. This is the trigger that initiates the habit. It's a bit like the spark that lights the fire. The cue could be anything: the smell of coffee brewing in the morning, the sound of your alarm, or even the sight of your running shoes by the door. These cues prompt your brain to initiate a behavior. They are the starting point of every habit. Moving on to the second law, the craving. This is the motivational force behind every habit. Without some level of desire or craving, we have no reason to act. For instance, you don't crave the act of running itself. Rather, you crave the endorphins and the feeling of accomplishment that running produces. It's the craving that fuels our actions. Next, we have the third law, the response. This is the actual habit you perform, whether it's physical or mental. It's the action you take in response to your craving. For example, when your alarm rings, the cue, and you crave to turn it off, the craving, you reach out and hit the snooze button, the response. The strength of your response depends on your ability and the difficulty of the task. Finally, the fourth law, the reward. This is the end goal of every habit. The reward delivers satisfaction and teaches us which actions are worth remembering in the future. It's the feeling of relief when you turn off the alarm or the taste of the coffee that makes getting up early worthwhile. Each of these laws plays a crucial role in creating and reinforcing habits. The cue triggers your brain to initiate a behavior. The craving provides the motivation. The response is the actual behavior, and the reward is the end goal. They're all interconnected and influence one another in a self-reinforcing loop. When one part of the loop is broken, the entire process can collapse and the habit can fade away. Together, these four laws not only create new habits, but also break the old ones. At the heart of Clear's philosophy is the concept of atomic habits. But what does this mean? Well, to put it simply, atomic habits are small, incremental changes that we make in our daily routines. They might seem insignificant on their own, but when compounded over time, they lead to significant transformations. To better understand this, let's consider the analogy of a plane taking off. If a plane changes its course by even 1 degree at the start of its journey, it could end up in a completely different destination. Similarly, a small positive change in our daily habits can shift the trajectory of our lives. The beauty of atomic habits is that they don't require massive effort or willpower. They are small enough to be manageable but powerful enough to lead to profound change. For instance, reading just 1 page of a book each day might seem like a small feat, but over a year, you would have read over 300 pages. That's a whole book. But how does one implement atomic habits? It's all about taking that big goal or habit you have in mind and breaking it down into the smallest possible action. Want to get fit? Start with 1 push-up a day. Want to write a book? Start with writing 1 sentence a day. The key is consistency, not intensity. This approach is not about immediate results. It's about the power of compounding, much like how a single penny doubled every day for a month leads to over $5 million. A tiny change, repeated consistently, can lead to significant results over time. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed with a big goal or habit, remember the atomic approach. Break it down, start small, and stay consistent. Because in the grand scheme of things, it's not the grand gestures, but the small, consistent actions that truly transform our lives. Remember, progress is a product of small, consistent actions, not overnight transformations. Clear introduces 2 powerful strategies: habit stacking and environment design. Let's begin with habit stacking. This is a method of pairing a new habit with an existing one, effectively creating a chain of actions that become part of your routine. Picture this. You have a habit of drinking a cup of coffee every morning. Now let's say you want to cultivate the habit of reading a book. You could stack this new habit onto your existing one by reading a chapter of your book while sipping your morning coffee. Over time, this pairing becomes so intertwined that one action naturally leads to the other, making it easier to incorporate and maintain new habits. Now, on to environment design. This strategy revolves around the idea of tailoring your surroundings to support your desired habits. Your environment influences your actions far more than you might think. For example, if you want to eat healthier, you might place a fruit bowl in a prominent place in your kitchen while keeping unhealthy snacks out of sight. This small change can make a big difference, making it easier to reach for an apple rather than a bag of chips. But environment design goes beyond physical spaces. It also includes the people and culture around you. Surrounding yourself with individuals who embody the habits you want to adopt can reinforce your commitment and make your journey easier. If you want to become more active, for instance, joining a local sports club or a running group can provide the social support and motivation you need. Both habit stacking and environment design are about creating a structure that makes your desired habits the path of least resistance. They reduce the effort required to start a new habit, making it more likely that you'll stick with it. They also make it easier to break away from bad habits by removing the triggers that cause them in the first place. With habit stacking and thoughtful environment design, you can set yourself up for success. Breaking bad habits is as crucial as forming good ones, and a shift in identity is key to sustaining habit change. Let's start with breaking undesirable habits. The first step is to identify the cue triggering the habit. Once we know the trigger, we can create a plan to avoid it. If avoidance isn't possible, we can try replacing the bad habit with a beneficial one. For instance, if stress prompts you to snack on junk food, you might swap the chips for a brisk walk or a healthy snack. But breaking habits isn't just about actions. It's about changing our self-perception. If we see ourselves as the kind of person who can't resist junk food, no amount of planning will help. To truly break a habit, we need to shift our identity. We need to start seeing ourselves as the kind of person who prioritizes health and makes wise food choices. To change your habits is to change your identity. And that's where real change happens. Tracking progress and holding oneself accountable are crucial in the journey of habit change. When we track our habits, we create a visual measure of progress, a tangible representation of our commitment and consistency. It's not just about ticking boxes on a calendar or crossing off to-do lists. It's about the satisfaction derived from seeing your progress, the motivation that comes from witnessing your own growth. Consider using habit trackers or productivity apps. They offer a systematic way of monitoring your habits, providing insights into patterns and trends. You can see how often you're performing a habit, how it's improving over time, and where you might need to make adjustments. Moreover, holding oneself accountable is the backbone of habit formation. Share your goals with a friend, join a group with similar aims, or hire a coach. Having someone to report to can increase your commitment and push you to stick to your habits. When you keep a record of your habits, it becomes a part of your identity, promoting accountability and consistency. In summary, Atomic Habits presents a powerful framework for habit change. We've explored the science of habit formation, the 4 laws of behavior change, and the transformative power of the atomic approach. We've discussed how small, incremental changes can lead to significant transformations over time. We've also delved into practical strategies like habit stacking and environment design, and the importance of breaking bad habits through an identity shift. Finally, we've underscored the vital role of tracking progress and holding yourself accountable. If you're intrigued by the insights we've shared, we encourage you to delve deeper by reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book is a treasure trove of knowledge and practical wisdom that can help you master productivity and achieve lasting change. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Atomic Habits. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more enriching content on personal development.